Hey guys, Crypto Sunday. So the red week in crypto hasn't actually ended too badly. I'm £4,000 down, so that's rather small, sort of 1.3% ish, and it's a real mixed bag between sort of Bitcoin and various altcoins. But yeah, let's have a look at the news. So just looking at the slightly outdated, of course, CoinShares report, it was another record week, sort of eclipsing, every time we get one of these huge weeks, it makes the previous ones that we thought were enormous look rather small. But yeah, 2.45 billion in net inflows for the week. So rather nice. This is mostly going into the iShares ETF. Fidelity sort of lagging behind a little. ARK getting sort of 400 million though. That was surprising. People still go for them. I don't think they're the cheapest. I think it's Bitwise and Franklin Templeton actually that are the cheapest. But yeah, there shouldn't be any difference in performance. They're just one Bitcoin. But people like ARK. Buy coin, obviously it's Bitcoin, 2.4 billion. Ethereum, 21 million, not too bad. Although, 11.8 billion in total ETF products. So 21 million's not a huge amount. Multi-assets down. Solana's down as well, 1.6 million. Nothing too much. Litecoin slightly up. Short Bitcoin slightly up, of course. Hedging and bits and pieces. Cardano, we sort of saw, had a gain last week and it's lost all of that. So not really sure what that was. Maybe a bit of sort of short-term hedging or something that people were doing. But yeah, that wasn't anything to speak about. Small amount in XRP and 8.6 million in others, which, yeah, if they're not on there, that's a bit of a surprise in ETF products. What that is, stable coins or something, who knows? But yeah, and then countries, sort of some smaller moves again, sort of a little bit into Switzerland, a little bit out of Sweden, a little bit into Germany, and yeah, a little bit in other as well. Not sure where they are. Haven't sort of heard of many ETFs outside of these countries, unless this is starting to include sort of, I don't know, Hong Kong or something. Yeah, let me know if you know. I couldn't sort of see which these other countries were. And just getting the more recent news on the ETFs, this is right up to Friday. So you had sort of more going into BlackRock, quite a bit more going into the Fidelity one. Sort of kept a bit more on par with BlackRock in the last week. And GBTC outflows were sort of steady, but not too high. Sort of because it was only a 4-day week, 137, 199 million on the Wednesday, sort of reasonable amount, but then 55 and 44 million. So quite a big. So you actually had a net outflow for the first time in a while on the Wednesday, but Monday was an inflow, and then Thursday and Friday 250 and 230 million net inflow. So yeah, don't know whether this is sort of a slowdown on Grayscale. Sort of, they were at double figures back on the 12th and 13th, but yeah, we'll have to see if we start getting more days like this and carried on continued interest in sort of the others, then that'll be quite good. Decent sort of net inflow amount to sort of stem the losses, whatever it is. Sort of price is still potentially going down a bit from whale selling and just sort of general public selling. ETFs aren't everything, of course, but it does provide a nice little bit of added buy pressure. And if you fancy a pointless headline, I guess somewhat, if he's potentially going to be president again, then maybe not pointless. But Donald Trump was asked about Bitcoin in a video, and he said, I like the dollar, but many people are using Bitcoin, and frankly, it's taken a life of its own. You probably have to do some regulation, as you know, but many people are embracing it. And more I'm seeing people wanting to pay Bitcoin. You're seeing something that's interesting, so I can live with it one way or the other. That's quite a U-turn, maybe not a U-turn, but a sort of backtrack from where he was before. He's always sort of praised the dollar and said Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. I guess you could say that is true. You could say the same about a lot of commodities. But yeah, that's interesting. Wondering whether he's just trying to appeal to crypto fans, sort of trying to get their vote. The Biden administration obviously is quite heavily against the crypto industry, with sort of Elizabeth Warren in there as well, and he sort of issued various executive orders, sort of going after various parts of the industry. So yeah, Trump maybe just sort of wanting to win a few votes with that, and sort of nobody could really say that he's pro Bitcoin from this statement. It's just not anti-Bitcoin, so might be a bit of a smart move by him. Sort of makes people say that he's pro Bitcoin when really, if you dig into it, he's not. He's obviously done his NFT collections and that sort of thing, so and has to disclose that he holds some Ethereum because of that. But if you want to see who isn't pro crypto, that's the European Central Bank still. Sort of highlighted a couple of articles from them before, sort of fairly what you'd call hit pieces. And they've done yet another hit piece now that the ETFs for Bitcoin are out, calling it the Naked Emperor's New Clothes. And there's sort of various, basically sound bites in here about, how Bitcoin is largely used for criminal activity, which we know has been sort of mostly proved to be not the case. Obviously, it's still used for some criminal activity. I think everything is, but we know sort of criminals like cash and bank transfers and all sorts of stuff in fiat currency. And I suppose they don't count speculation as a useful or even store of value as a sort of useful use case for crypto. So if you strip that out, then the criminal activity becomes a larger percentage. But yeah, they even say it's failed as an investment. So not quite sure where you're getting that. So they've referred to their ECB blog post on November 22, which I believe I covered, and was around the bottom of Bitcoin in the bear market. And yeah, they're sort of referencing that. We showed that Bitcoin's second promise to be a financial asset, the value of which would inevitably continue to rise, was equally wrong. And I think it's pretty much been broadly up since that article. So not really sure what they're getting at. That seems a little bit strange. Yeah, they're also sort of saying it's manipulated and that sort of thing. The currency of crime, I did like though. Bitcoin remains the top choice for money laundering in the digital world. Illicit addresses transferring 23 billion in crypto in 2022, and there's sort of estimates that total money laundering sort of ranges from anywhere from 700 billion to I believe it was nearly 2 trillion a year. So how much of that is done in physical cash, we don't know, but yeah, however much of that is digital, 23 billion is not exactly a huge amount. So I can't say that that's the top choice. I think this is just yet more strange things from the ECB. And considering they do have the MiCA markets in crypto assets regulations, launching sort of fully going live this year, does seem a little bit strange. I think this is maybe a little bit of a divergence between the European Central Bank and the European Union. The EU at least seem sort of a little bit more pro-crypto, or at least pro-regulating crypto. ECB are obviously jumping on this and saying the MiCA regulations are a way to stop crime. I don't think that's quite how it reads, and that's sort of cherry picking what the regulations are about. But yeah, we all love a hit piece. And there was another little Forbes article. As I say, I don't like these Forbes articles when they just start quoting a huge number. Sort of turns into a bit of a pissing contest, to be honest. But yeah, they're saying $114 trillion of assets are basically on RIA platforms, registered investment advisory platforms, and not all of these platforms have approved the Bitcoin ETFs. So just the fact that they're out doesn't mean people are automatically able to buy them, even if they ask their advisor to buy them. They have to approve them. And Carson Group, a RIA with 30 billion of assets under management, or assets on their platform at least, has approved 4 of the ETFs, not all of them. BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and Franklin, and they sort of give reasons for that as sort of being the biggest and the cheapest, basically. And yeah, people are sort of seeing this as potentially a second wind, or a sort of, as we were all saying, long-term adoption of these ETFs. It was never about the first week. It was always what you would get in the first year or two. And it is potentially a good reason that Ethereum has been outperforming for a little while. A lot of people are putting it down to the potential of the ETFs, sort of with the May deadline for ARK's ETF, but also you have the Cancun Deneb upgrade, which people are calling Dencun. This is sort of rolling lots and lots of updates or EIPs into one, and sort of proto-dank sharding is one of the main ones. This is sort of all about scaling, basically lowering fees, and sort of, you would think, having a little bit less security, sort of splitting up various transactions into it sounds to me, on as a layman, like you're taking less of the information per transaction and sort of splitting up the data. But yeah, I will say, obviously, I'm not a techie. I just sort of invest where I see adoption. But yeah, that's sort of part of this upgrade. And I believe Vitalik sort of said once this is out, he would sort of see Ethereum for the first time as in a usable state. But obviously they want to carry on innovating on it sort of for the foreseeable future. But yeah, lots of upgrades all in this, and they have set a date of March the 13th, so 2.5 weeks away. This isn't one that's going to sort of continue to get delayed, it seems. Maybe we'll get a small delay, but they think they're ready. It's certainly being reflected in the price, whether it is the ETF or the Dencun upgrade, but the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio sort of seemed to have bottomed again, a sort of local bottom a couple of weeks ago, and is back up towards 0.058. So if you look back on my gigantic wedge pattern that I had, yes, even on the sort of super long-term one, from 2017, start of 2017, I sort of had this as potentially coiling up in the wedge, and I was thinking about swapping some Bitcoin for Ethereum, only a little, maybe for tax purposes, and then thinking it was going to shoot up with Ethereum scaling. And then I sort of got a bit nervous when it sort of started, coming below the wedge and was starting to sort of look worse and worse. And then I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just do it now at 0.05, and it shot up and sort of came back down again. And yeah, I've just been sort of a bit rabbit in the headlights, to be honest, wondering whether to switch or just hold on to my Bitcoin. Obviously, the deadline is coming up for tax season. We don't get a very big amount of capital gains tax allowance now, but I think I need to use it up if I'm just double checking my figures over the next month or two. So I may decide to do that with sort of hopefully a decent bull run coming. So a quick look at coins for the week. We've got, as I say, a very mixed bag. Bitcoin down 1%, Solana down 7%. So that's been a little bit of a rough week. Ethereum up 7%. It's all over the place. Chainlink down 8%. Cardano down 7.5%. XRP down 2.7%. Matic Polygon up 2.5%. Audius basically flat. Power Ledger up 2.7%. Internet Computer down 9.5%. Gala up 9%. Quant down 4.13%. VeChain down 0.7%, and Basic Attention Token down 4.23%. So basic attention token now my smallest holding was VeChain, but that's been doing quite well. So yeah, little old basic attention token, not doing too well. But there you go. So that's portfolio for the week. Interesting. Small loss. Maybe we have more of a pullback coming for one reason or another, but have to see. So leave your thoughts in comments below and like and subscribe. See you soon.